Good morning, gentle folks. 'Tis I again. Had a brief sabbatical from this. Still writing. Been away in the Western Isles. For those who might not know of that relatively regional reference, Scotland, specifically the Western Isles, the Western lands, the best bit of Scotland, I think. Although I like Deeside too. I like all of it, but there you go. Anyway, this is called the Verdant Crown. Sorry, my laptop's a bit wobbly, isn't it? I'm a bit wobbly, but there you go. That's just me. This is called the Verdant Crown. Sea lochs run deep on western shores, where the broken timidly retreat, where executives turned barroom bores their dullard stories repeatedly repeat. We've heard it all before. Their lives like boomerangs, that'll knock them to the floor, awakening anguished pangs. Here, the workers immerse themselves in nature's taciturn. Enlightened, it is they themselves that from greater forces learn. Where wind and waters blow and swell, till bloated egos drown, there is no word that man might tell to tame the verdant crown. Yeah, so wherever, it's a pretty good escape. I was relatively near Jura, and I looked out on the paps of Jura, which is rather rude. Actually, the paps of Jura are called the paps of Jura because they resemble ladies' breasts. That is why, rather crudely, they're referred to, and they were named the paps of Jura. But quite innocently too, because that's what they look like. Marvellous, I thought. Anyway, it was nice to see across the water there the land where Orwell wrote 1984, and where his familial home is still there. His grandson lives there, I believe. It's still owned by the family. Haven't got there yet, but ferry prices across the Jura this time of year, ridiculous. Anyway, there you go. And they weren't running anyway because of the weather. Sorry, I digress. So what I was going to say is that the Western Isles and the Western Highlands are a great place to go to retreat. However, when you go there, you meet other townies like me. I mean, I'm not a townie, but I live in a town now. I like to think of myself as country type of chap, but I live in a town, so I'm an incomer to them, a tourist, the lowest form of life. However, keeping communities relatively alive. But you could, everywhere you go, and even in these little pubs, you might. Where we stayed was quite a nice place, and there were people who I would say were on definitely a few rungs up the economic ladder than I was and my partner, and you hear them talking, and some very nice people, and then you hear the towny talk, the business talk, in the background, and a lot of BS really. The buying up the properties and hardly spending any time in them. So you try to escape, but you can't escape. But then you meet the real people who actually live there, who are immersed in the land and are of the land. Some of them families been there generations. Not all. There's lots of incomers. But there are people, the farmers and the workers who've been there, and they have they accept the way the world is there. Like me, I never complain about the weather in Scotland. If you complain about the weather in Scotland, you're a half-wit. If you don't like the weather in Scotland, don't bloody go. It rains, it's Scotland. It rains, it's cold. When it's sunny, it's beautiful. When it rains, it's beautiful. I love it all year round, I don't care. Take the right kit. But that's the locals who live there, they get that. And I think I get that. And I love it. I love it. I love the weather. I love the fact it changes every 10, 20 minutes. I love that. You can look out the window, it looks different. It's beautiful. Some Scottish cities and towns leave a lot to be desired. They're pretty grey. But that's to do with probably a unfair dispersal of finances from central government. Anyway, the Verdant Crown. Nature's in charge. You're not. That's about it. Respect it, love it, be in it, be part of it, because we are. Take your shoes off, go for a walk in the woods. Watch out for the dog poo. I always clean my dog's poo up, by the way, so if you ever do tread in dog poo, it will not be my dog's. There you go. Anyway, take care. I try to keep Scotland a secret, and I'm sure there's lots of English people who would never dream of going there, because it's a bit like France to some people, and they turn their nose up at it because they've never been. And in some way, that's a good thing. Stay away. It's nice. Don't ruin it. But if you want to escape, it's a great place to go. Beautiful. Just don't complain about the weather. Some good beer up there too. Take care. TTFN. Mind how you go.